Hello YouTube, Chrome Freak here. You're looking at a Marlin Model 60. This is actually a Model 60W. It's a special edition model. And we'll get into that in a little bit on what the W stands for, or what I think it stands for, because there's a lot of people, even Marlin themselves, that don't even really know what it stands for. I actually called them on the phone. So that's a whole other story, and I hope to be able to get into it in this video. Anyway, the Model 60 was actually derived from the Model 99, which was developed in 1959 by Edward Nickel. It was made from 59 to 61, and then I'm talking about the 99. Then it went on to still be produced in the Glenfield, the Marlin Glenfield line, but its quality level was dropped quite a bit from the original 99. And I believe sometime they came out with a Model 99 M1, which was an M1 lookalike, which is pretty cool. Anyway, this rifle here was pretty innovative for its time. In 1960, it was developed and immediately put on the market. What's really neat about it is it's the first .22 rifle to ever be really built around the .22 long rifle round. At that time, .22 rifles were built to shoot the .22 short, the .22 long, and the .22 long rifle. Well, Marlin, looking into the future and seeing there wasn't much of a future for the long round, and knowing that if somebody wanted something stronger than the .22 short, rolled the dice thinking that the .22 long rifle was going to be around, for a long, long time and be very successful. Well, you know what? The dice came up on their part that time. They won. They were right. That was pretty innovative. Also, the magazine tube, they were the first ones to use brass. Everybody else was using steel and was having major rusting issues. They also came out with their micro groove technology, which is 16 small lands and grooves instead of 4, 6, or 8 deep grooves. And what it does is it doesn't deform the bullet as bad when it comes out the barrel. And with the crown muzzle there, this thing out of the box is probably the most accurate .22 rifle out of the box now. Not with special work done or anything, but out of the box that there is, in my opinion, and an opinion of a lot of people, actually, if you read a lot of articles. And if you're in love with .22 rifles like I am, and I own quite a few different makes and models of .22s, and this is one of my favorite right here. And there's a reason why. Not only is it one of my favorites because of the way it shoots, I haven't shot this particular gun right here in quite a long time. Both my parents, unfortunately, are gone, God rest their souls, but my mother had passed away in February of '95. Christmas of '95, I wasn't sure what to get my dad. Well, we just happened to be walking around Walmart, my wife and I always go to the gun department, and I seen this Model 60W sitting there right next to a regular Marlin Model 60. And to compare them, this had a longer barrel, had a 22-inch barrel, the other one had a 19-inch barrel, the other one had a birchwood stock, this one has a walnut stock, this one also has a little emblem, which is pretty cool. It actually says safety, ethics, and sportsmanship on it. And a lot of people think that the W model here was a tribute to the NRA. The guy from Marlin, who I spoke to on the phone, actually said he thinks that's right, but doesn't know for sure. This is Marlin, okay, so they don't even know for sure. But he did tell me that the hat the guy's wearing is supposed to be representative of an NRA cap. Well, I took my magnifying glass there and I looked at it pretty closely, and if there's any lettering on that hat, I don't see it. It looks like little dots on it, but it doesn't, at least on this one, doesn't look anything like letters to me. Anyway, the inherent accuracy of this rifle has made it the biggest selling rifle of all time. Over 11 million of these have been sold. The fastest selling and most selling .22 rifle in history. And still going strong, and that number was actually taken a couple of years ago, so it's even more today. Now, before 1985, they made some changes. After 1985, they put in a last shot hold open, which you see right here, but it's also got a lockback system. You can push it back and you push the lever in and it will fully open it up, and you just do the opposite, pull it out and bring it back, and it'll go right back to the half open last shot position, which is great. This is actually a 14-shot magazine tube, although originally in 1960 it came with a 19-shot tube. This one I can actually get 15 in. There's a lot of variants and different capacities on ones that they exported. There's so many different models or variants of the 60, the Model 60, that, like I said, Marlin's even confused on it. I was talking to the gentleman on the phone today, and he seems to think that the W stands for walnut, the stock being walnut. Then I go on the internet and I see the internet says the W stands for Walmart. Well, if that's true, why did they have a regular 60 sitting there? And why don't they continue to put W on them? So I don't think that was true, and the guy seems to think it was for the walnut stock, and that probably makes sense. And it being a special edition, and you could tell it's a special edition by, like I said, the length of the barrel, this little emblem, and the gold trigger. It's got a gold trigger, which is pretty cool. It also has a full cross bolt safety, which is located right here, very accessible. Actually, it's on the back. I'm sorry, right here on the back of the trigger guard. This right here will close the bolt. It's got a bolt release right here at the very front of the trigger guard, which is very handy. It weighs 5.5 pounds. It's a very comfortable, I mean, it's safe direction. And I put safety on. Safe direction, pull the trigger. I haven't shot this rifle because, like I said, a couple reasons. First of all, my dad passed away, and it's just one of the things I've had. He used this a lot, especially in his last couple of years. He was alive, so I haven't had the heart to really get in there and play with it, but there's also something broke internally and it's not ejecting right. So I'm going to take this rifle down, we're going to figure out what the problem is, and we're going to fix it, and we'll do that on video. I promise you we'll do that on video. But this is a self-loading, simple blowback design. It's got a non-glare finish on it. The stock is actually held in two places, the screw right here under the foregrip and the rear screw on the trigger guard, and the entire stock will drop right off of the rifle. The receiver is grooved to accept a tip-off mount. That's another thing, the 99 that was different with the original 99 was it was tapped and screwed for a screw-on mount. So that was another thing that was different originally. Unlike the Ruger 1022, this has few aftermarket parts you can buy for this rifle. There's really nothing to do to it. I mean, put a scope on it if you want, but I'm going to tell you what, right out of the box, if you just like to plank, you don't need a scope on this thing. This thing is dead on, man. 100 and in, especially at 50 yards. I'm not a great shooter, and this will make me look good. At least it used to when I used to shoot it a lot. And I did shoot this gun right here, this particular one, quite a bit before my dad did pass away. And I'd like to start doing it again. I'm at the point now where I can get on there and play, and I want to get in there and find out what the problem is, why it's not ejecting properly. And like I said, we'll do that on a video, but I just love this. You know, I have wiped it down quite a bit, and I keep it in really good shape. And my dad always kept his firearms in great shape. That's something I inherited. It's a great thing. And it's just a beautiful little rifle. You know, from 1985 and before, the length of this rifle was 40.5 inches, and that's the length of this one. The W edition, the special edition, is 40.5 inches. Since 1985, they shortened the barrel down to match the magazine, and then made the total length of 37.5 inches. The barrel length being 19 inches, and this one, like I said, is 22. Now, the velocity of the long rifle round, which in my opinion, a lot of people underestimate the long rifle round. The average, I mean, obviously different makes of rounds are different, but the average velocity is about 1,280 foot a second, man. That's a smoking little round. And it's a lot more potent than a lot of people give it credit for. I darn sure don't want to be hit with anything, a BB, much less a 22 long rifle. But to me, it's a beautiful little, well-made, solid little 22 rifle. It's probably one of the least expensive ones out there. I mean, you can go to Walmart or any, you know, your local little gun store and grab this thing for right around $200. You know, I've seen it, especially you can find used ones. I've seen used ones, man, for 80 bucks. And in great shape like this one is. And I would just snatch it up. It's a gun I highly recommend, a rifle. I highly recommend, if you love 22 rifles and you love planking, this is definitely a rifle that you would like to get in your collection. Now I want to get into the little W thing a little bit. Like I said, I got on the phone with Marlin, And I'm the one that actually put the walnut stock in the guy's head, because I was like, what's the W stand for? Because there's a lot of different 60 models, and you could figure out from the website what they stand for, but you don't see the W listed. So when I said walnut stock, he said, that's what it's for the walnut stock. So I'm not completely convinced he knew what he was talking about. And also with the emblem and it being a special NRA version, because I don't see NRA on here anywhere. You would think they would at least put NRA if it was for a special NRA edition. So I don't know. There's a little bit of controversy about it on the internets, as there is with everything on the interwebs, as our friend would say, Mad Bad Voodoo, the interwebs. But there's people out there that say this was actually made for Ducks Unlimited, the NRA, that the W actually stands for Walmart, not Walnut. Man, I don't know. And neither does Marlin, apparently. But I do know this, that it's a very high quality rifle, especially for the price that it's at. And if you got the extra bit of money laying around and you want to get yourself a little 22 rifle that's going to be reliable for a long time, this is the one that you want to grab. I can tell you that right now, even if it's not a special edition with a longer rifle. The way that micro groove rifling works, it's so accurate, I can't even explain it to you. You have to actually shoot this gun to appreciate it. You really do. So anyway, I tried shooting this video a couple of times, and it's a little rough on me because this was my dad's gun. And I know this is probably not going to be one of my better videos, but I just wanted to get it out of the way. It's a gun that I wanted to get out and start playing with a little bit more, and I definitely want to get into taking it down and figure out what the problem is. Now, you got to understand, I can't even tell you how many thousands of rounds my dad must have put through this rifle. I know I put quite a bit through myself, but I know that he planked and planked and planked and planked with this thing. So I don't know exactly. I'm sure it's probably something minor in there, and we'll figure it out and we'll get it fixed. But I don't want that to be a deterrent on you grabbing this rifle, because it's been up until that point, it was a very reliable rifle. In fact, I didn't even know there was anything wrong with it until I took over got it after my dad's death. So anyway, it's something that we're going to get fixed. Now, like I said, I'll go ahead and do probably this weekend maybe. We'll go ahead and we'll break this completely down. We'll figure out what the problem is, and then we'll order that part, and we'll do another video, and we'll put everything back together again. It's actually quite easy to disassemble, and we'll do that on video, because I know there's a lot of these rifles out there, over 11 million. Like I said, I don't want to keep repeating myself. I think I've already said that. But the most sold 22 rifle in history, right here, in history. And it's that many sold for a reason, and it's not just the price. It's because of the quality, the craftsmanship, the accuracy, and the reliability of this little rifle. Okay, guys, that's going to be it. We're going to wrap it up. If you want to get it, you can Google this rifle, and you're going to come up with a ton of information on it, more than you can digest, and more time than I want to spend, because I don't want to make very long videos, especially on a 22 rifle. But it's a beautiful, beautiful rifle, as you could see, and I thank you guys for watching. Good night.